Hi there. My name is Evan Cram. I'm a RTC with Fordham Information Technology. That means I'm a resident tech consultant. And today I'm going to be giving my workshop called Introduction to Digital Marketing. And this is going to talk about some free tools that you can use for your digital marketing projects. Um, I feel like this could be useful for a variety of reasons. Employers nowadays are looking for people that know how to use a variety of different tools to help with publications and marketing and any sort of graphic design and document output projects. But besides that, I mean, personal projects will come up where you might want to market yourself or market a club or anything you're involved with, a sports team, an organization, charity, etc. So being able to help out and do some of the design and marketing for that would probably be a really useful skill to pick up. Today I'm going to talk about designing your own posters and flyers, a little bit about making websites, and then furthermore how to spread your message on social media. First we'll start talking about posters and flyers, and this part really deals with graphic design, image manipulation, typesetting, some kind of skills like that that traditionally were used by graphic designers, artists, printmakers, publishers, but today are in the hands of individual users like you and me, and so we can create professional looking documents, posters, and different things that could be used for marketing that in the past we didn't have any access to or would be really expensive to hire a professional to make. Um, but instead now we can just jump on our computer and um, fire up Photoshop or alternative and make something of similar quality even, which is pretty cool. So all the programs I'm going to be talking about today you can get for free, which is a big selling point for an individual user, especially a student, at Fordham or wherever, not having a whole lot of money to pay for Photoshop or other professional tools, any of those kind of Adobe products or Autodesk or the ones that a lot of big companies will have access to and pay for. I'm assuming that you don't have access to those, so these will be tools that'll maybe prepare you to use those tools if you ever got hired. GIMP, which I'll talk about first, is similar to Photoshop, but it is free. It's open source, and it runs on a variety of platforms. It's totally customizable, which is cool. But the nice thing is, yeah, so GIMP is free, and it's similar in ways to Photoshop. So your skills that you learn, working with images or graphics or documents in GIMP will kind of transfer over to Photoshop or similar. So we'll talk about that first. So let's pull this up here. So if we look at GIMP, it's called the GNU Image Manipulation Program, and this is a Photoshop alternative that's free and open source. You can see their website here with their little dog mascot. But what I'm going to talk about is kind of the different design of it. And with this workshop, I would encourage you to go and download these programs for yourself and just try them out, because a lot of times the best way to learn is through experience. So I'm going to give a broad overview of different things that are available and that are free and that you might want to pick up, but I'm not going to show you really how to use each of them in depth. But here, this is just an image of GIMP from their website, and you can see they're working on an image over here, and then here's some of the different tools they can use to work on it. It looks really similar to Photoshop or even an advanced version of like Microsoft Paint if you've ever used that. But it gives you a variety of tools for changing different things on images. So drawing with a paintbrush like on images, adding text, making them bigger or smaller, cropping, all sorts of different tools. Changing colors, brightness, contrast, levels, just different parts of the image that you might want to manipulate. It's an image manipulation program. Same as Photoshop in a lot of ways. So that's something to definitely check out. Let's see. Inkscape is sort of a free alternative to Adobe Illustrator. So Adobe Illustrator is a vector image manipulation program. So the thing is, computers work in different ways depending on the different kind of image that you have. So there's vector images and there's bitmap images. A vector image is defining the computer as as like a set of lines, points. It's mathematically stored and then displayed. So the computer says, okay, draw a line from point A to point B, and that's how you get an image. And it'll say, draw a circle, starting here and going there. That's how a vector file would work, a vector image. And Inkscape is used for making those sort of vector images. Photoshop, on the other hand, deals with bitmaps, which are pixels. So a pixel is sort of like a mosaic. And so one image is like a mosaic of tons of tiny square tiles that, when viewed at a distance, look like a clear image. So you don't define the sort of lines. So Inkscape deals with that a little bit differently. Here we'll check out an overview of Inkscape. This bird here you can see is a vector image. Vector images are kind of flat, usually cartoony in look. They're nice because they can be displayed at any size without losing any quality. So this bird image here could be made bigger or smaller, and it would look exactly as crisp. Now, if you have a Photoshop image that's pixels, and you try and blow it up to a huge size, as you might have seen on some poster you've made in the past or a similar project, it's going to distort it, so it's going to look pixely. It's going to look like that mosaic, and it's not going to be very clear. So you want to be able to do that. Let's see. So we've got here. There's a bunch of different Inkscape tutorials. Let's see. So these are some of the sort of images, the shapes and things that you can create in Inkscape. They're mathematically defined, and you can set colors and shapes. And I mean, imagine making logos or different things with shapes. Like, here's some different basic images. What you might want to use those for might change, but definitely can be an entire marketing project or just a part of it. Maybe you want to add a swirly design to your email that you're sending out or something like that. So it's something to check out there, Inkscape. Krita and MyPaint are a couple ones that I've seen around a little bit. I'm not as familiar with them as the other two, but these are similar to, say, like the professional painting programs like Corel Painter, and I'm trying to think. I mean, Photoshop can do this too, where it's basically you can paint digital images. So this is really useful for artists or making painted designs. Here's a good image of the workspace that you see. So you can see over here that there's like a toolbar that gives you different like paint brushes and things, and then you have your image that you're drawing on essentially, and so you can use this to draw whatever kind of picture you might need. So the nice thing about this is it allows you to design pictures, draw different things without needing to use physical paper and paintbrushes and everything. So maybe for a project you're trying to design just a simple little image of a stick person or something, then you could just come into this software here and draw it up on your computer, and then you never have to touch an actual pen and paper, which can save you a lot of time with scanning in, taking pictures, different things like that. So you might as well just start painting in the program on your computer rather than in real life. So that's cool. Let's see. Paint.net is pretty cool. I would recommend this as a download for pretty much everyone on a Windows computer. I think it only works on Windows computers really, but the nice thing about this is it works in a similar way to Microsoft Paint, just the program that comes on your computer for basic drawing, kind of like the last one I talked about, Krita, for painting things, but like more simple. Now here, Paint.net instead gives you more tools than the stock Microsoft Paint that you get with your computer, but it's still not as advanced as like Photoshop. So if you're just trying to crop an image or something, you don't necessarily need the full GIMP or whatever or Photoshop to do that. So Paint.net might work great for you. So LibreOffice Writer and Draw. Now, say you don't have, So if you don't have Microsoft Office on your computer, and you need to write something, like an essay or business proposal or your diary, whatever you want, LibreOffice is the free solution for that. It has most of the same tools as Microsoft Office, but not the price tag. It's free as well, open source. It's developed and maintained by a community of programmers and users. So you can use all of the sort of writing tools you would want out of Microsoft Office for free. Pretty great. Let's see screenshots here. Show you what that looks like. Here's some different screenshots, as you can see. the Writer app. LibreOffice comes with a variety that work in similar ways to Microsoft Office. So with Office, you have Word, PowerPoint, Excel. Instead, here you have Writer, Calc, and Impress. Impress is your PowerPoint. So if you're also making a PowerPoint presentation and you don't have PowerPoint, or you don't want to buy PowerPoint, then check out Impress. But you can see what it looks like here. It's pretty similar to Word, and where you just type on your page and then it prints out exactly like it looks. The nice thing about Word or LibreOffice is that it's called a WYSIWYG editor, so what you see is what you get, which is nice because that means whatever you're seeing on the screen is what it's going to look like when you print it out or you save it somewhere and post it online. So that's pretty cool. Now, next I'll talk a little bit about Blender. I'm just going to Microsoft. It's Google Docs is a little weird with copy and paste, but oops. I say good luck on this because Blender is a really hard program to learn. I've tried learning it a couple times and haven't made very much progress. Blender is to create the sort of 3D images you would see in 3D animated movies like Pixar, like Finding Nemo or Toy Story or something like that. And you can see here that they've got they can create just amazing looking images that you would see in one of those sort of movies. And if you ever had a need, to create this kind of art for your project, for your marketing project, for maybe you're trying to make a short film, I mean, whatever you're doing, you can do it with Blender probably. Here you can see modeling a car, modeling some fruit. Seriously, check this out if you're interested in it and you wanna try and learn this. It's really cool. It's free as well, open source, really powerful, great program. I just wanna advertise that for people to use because it's so cool. Wish I knew how to use it better. Let's see. So OpenClipArt. OpenClipArt is cool. OpenClipArt is not a program, but it's a library online of free clipart images you can put in your documents. These aren't bound by the same sort of usage restrictions as like different clip art you might find online or that comes with. I mean, I think Microsoft's like built-in clip art is free to use for people. Don't quote me on that. You have to check. But this stuff here, it works with an open license, so you can just put this on whatever document you want and not have to worry about the creator coming and yelling at you for putting in your poster, which is cool. And they have all sorts of different things here. If we search open clip art, then looking for pictures of dogs, then there's all sorts of cute little dog pictures that you can put into your document or your flyer for dogs or whatever. Let's see. Here, let's see, we've got Google Fonts. Google Fonts is pretty cool. It's used so Google Fonts here is cool because these are all different fonts that you can use for your documents. You can download them to your computer, you can put them in your web page, and it lets you use those for whatever kind of project you want. I'm pretty sure they're all open source. Let's check here. Yes, they're open source, which means you can use them however you want, which is really cool. You can use them privately or commercially. So for a variety of reasons, this is great. And you can look here and sort these by different categories. So maybe you really want handwriting font because you're making a clip art kind of thing, and you can say what kind of size you want and set it to look. All right, here's a cool handwritten font. So that's pretty great. Let's see. What else do we have? Okay, so besides Google Fonts, Practical Typography is a website I just wanted to plug. It's really cool. It's not so much an app either. It's just a website that talks about what typography is, how to use it, how to make your text look really good. Typography, of course, is the art of putting text on a page and doing it in style, maybe. I don't know, that's not the best description I can come up with, but here's the contents of this online book, and it's really cool. So yeah, what is typography here? The visual component of the written word, all right, what it looks like. And this is just a beautiful ebook that tells you all about writing good-looking text on the page in whatever app you're using. Typography in 10 minutes, just a quick thing. read this if you have time. You'll learn something from it. I use tricks from this in all my documents to try and make them look better. Pretty cool. Let's see. So I'll talk a little bit about websites here. So you might be interested in learning some different web technologies. Digital marketing is pretty much all about online today. Websites, the internet, getting your message out there to a lot of people through the internet. So I'll talk a little bit about some tools that are available here. This really reaches beyond the scope of anything that I can explain in this short video. So here is a list of different terms to check out, basically. You might have heard of Tumblr. Tumblr is really popular nowadays. It's sort of like a blog platform. It's mostly social media oriented for users that don't have a whole lot of experience. They're not looking for commercial kind of projects. Blogger, which is Google's sort of blog website, is similar in some ways, but less social, more about just like keeping your travel journal, your writing log, your blog, just whatever. Could be good for whatever kind of marketing project you're doing. Maybe you have a club and you want to keep a website, then check out one of those. WordPress, Drupal, and Joomla, these are different fancy ways to host your website. If you're going to buy a website basically for your organization, for yourself, for your club, for your business, you'll probably use one of these or a similar content management system. What does that mean? It means that you want to keep track of what's on your website, and you don't want to do all the hard work of writing it yourself in HTML. Now, what is HTML? It stands for Hypertext Markup Language. HTML is how everything is displayed on your web browser. So I can write just let's put this in here. I can write like a title. So say the title of my website is Evan's blog, right? Now to make that a title or a header, I have to type in some HTML to make that look like a header. And what this will do, it's not going to do it here because it's just a document, but it'll make it bold and it'll make it a large size. So that would be then the title of your page, and that's how all the format of different web documents is formatted, and it's why what you see on the computer looks the way it does. So HTML is part of that. CSS is kind of the look, and then JavaScript is the behavior. So if you imagine a website, it's comprised of three parts. It's what the website says is the HTML, typically. How it looks is the CSS, and when you click on something, if it's interactive, if it lights up, if it shows you something, that's JavaScript. And today Flash is becoming less and less important on the internet. For a while, you would go to every website and it would ask you to load Shockwave Flash Player or something similar. And this was Adobe's like interactive website technology, basically. This is being replaced more and more with JavaScript, and it's just going to be a thing of the past, I think. But anyways, these are some important things. I skipped over server-side scripting versus client-side scripting. It doesn't really matter. The server side is just imagine that when you connect to someone on the internet, you're connecting out to a server on their end, a computer that's sending you information. So you can either make your own server and do things on it to send people information, or you can send people a program that then runs on their computer, which is called client-side. JavaScript is typically client-side. Flash is typically client-side. But like you log into Facebook or something, and Facebook, the server on their end, is doing all the work. So that's when server-side stuff comes into important. But anyways, I'm going to talk about a couple different coding websites that'll be really useful if you want to learn how to code. So code.org is great. This is one that's had a big push. I think it's backed by Microsoft or Facebook or some other big ones. Code.org, yeah. This will teach you how to code and get you started with some of this technology here. See, tutorials that teach JavaScript, all right? You can start learning that right away. things for beginners, learn how to make the next Angry Birds if you really wanted to. Tutorials and other programming languages. So there's a lot of different options on here. This one, I mean, it looks sort of young, but you got to start with the basics. And learning code is just like learning any other language. You're not gonna be reading Dostoevsky until you go through some picture books. So, this is the picture book. Code Academy is a similar one. Let's see. Yeah, so this one I think you have to sign up for, but it looks like a pretty good service, and it lets you write the code online, interactive. It's like, it makes it fun to code. And Khan Academy is great. Code Adventures is similar. Khan Academy has its own tutorials. You might have seen their like video lectures on math or physics or any other kind of topic. They have a good computer science section as well, so check that out. And then I put in here, so if you want to program for a specific computer type, so say you only want to make programs for Windows computers, or you want to make something for your Mac, or you want to start looking at Android. For iPhones, it's kind of the same as Mac. So there's different languages that you would learn for each of those, and it seems like a lot, and it is a lot, but hopefully you have a specific project in mind. And if you don't want to worry about any of these, then maybe start with internet technologies, so HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. More and more stuff is just being done on the web than on computers, so that's why, I spend most of my time looking into web development because I think that's the most useful. And then lastly, social media. Getting your message out for digital marketing is super important. There's ways to do it on Facebook, there's ways to do it on Twitter, there's ways to do it on Tumblr. Any sort of social media site is today being used by different businesses in different ways. Facebook is good for two reasons. I mean, you can have a presence on Facebook, like there's pages that people like. You can have a page for your business, for your band, for whatever you're making. But then beyond just that, Facebook is known for its wealth of data. So you can research, which kind of people would be interested in buying my product, which part of town should I open up a store in. Things like that is data that you can get out of Facebook using their different tools. Twitter is less of a data hound, but you can go on there and market with 140 character messages, just like you would use for a personal Twitter account, but make your business Twitter account or your band Twitter or something similar. And then Tumblr, making a blog for your page if you don't want to use anything else. It's definitely an option. It's free. It's a pretty good platform. And yeah, that's how you can sort of get entered into the digital marketing side of social media. Something to look into. But yeah, so with that, that's a variety of tools that'll get you interested in digital marketing, I hope. There's definitely a lot more to check out than I can talk about here. Each one of these, would take a series of videos to explain, really. But what I'm saying is, if you're interested in, getting into digital marketing and maybe doing some of these different projects, then check out these tools to do that. And with that, I'll say thanks for watching the video. Check out the rest of my series, and it's been fun being RTC. Thanks. Bye.